Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on our urban worm bag. Now, it's been 23 days since our last update. We are still adding in these massive, large containers of food here, and probably some more bedding material as they are starting to really chew through that bedding material. But we're going to continue to load this up with food. This system is doing really well. These European night crawlers are doing fantastic at chewing through this food, and they still look very active, even with the cooler temperatures in my basement. So with that, let's go take a look and see how the system is doing. All right, here we go. Here's our urban worm bag. Just going to open this up. See how this is looking in here. Oh, look at this. Looks absolutely wonderful. Got a little bit of some of the seeds on top here. These are the mango seeds. The worms will work through these, but they take some time. Already our first worm on top right there. But let's get the container out right here. This still looks fine. Now, if you remember last time, I actually dumped this over by accident into here, so I want to make sure I do not do that again. I'm going to put that off a little bit off to the side over there where it's a little bit more out of the way. And we'll start working here through this bin. And let's just dig over here. I can't remember which side I fed on. I think it was this side since the container was over here. So let's dig on the non-food side first. Oh, you know what we found right here? We found our coconut. Look at this. This is starting to feel a little softer maybe. I can squeeze it just a little bit more than I could. Last time it felt so hard I couldn't even squeeze it at all. We've got a couple worms in there. So they're still going at this. We'll see how this goes. As I said, we're going to leave this in here for a while. There's a mango seed in there. As you can tell, I've got quite a few mango seeds. We bought a big box of them at one point. So let's just dig in a little bit more over here. Got some worms. Look how nice and crumbly this material is. It kind of comes apart, which is nice. That's what you want to see. Now, I know some people have been saying, "Oh, isn't that moist? Isn't that more moist?" But it's not really. It's not nearly as moist as it looks. It looks like it's kind of hard, but that's only because it's compacted. It's not because of moisture. So nice, healthy worms in there. So you see right here, I'm digging down. It's a little bit hard for me to pull this out. But look at that. It just crumbles right apart. Look at all the worms in there. And they're doing really, really good in this system right now. These are European night crawlers. These are not my reds, but these guys are just doing phenomenally well. And this is the right temperature for them too. It's probably, actually we can grab, I think I've got a temperature gun around here, or at least I thought I did. Yes, I do, right here. So we can just take a quick look at the temperature in here. We drop that back in there. Make sure I'm pointing it into the bag. And it says 67. This seems to be a good 68. All right, that seems to be a good temperature. And just for those people across the pond here, or I should say everybody else that's not in the U.S., it's about 20 degrees Celsius in here. So this is about the right temperature for these worms. They seem to like this temperature, I've noticed. When it gets up a little hot, I notice that they kind of slow down. They start kind of crawling around the sides. But like they really do like this temperature. This seems to be really good for them for these European night crawlers. This is one of the reasons why I was really excited to start using these in my systems. Even though this is the only system I have currently, I think that I've expanded this population enough where I might be able to expand to a second system, which maybe we'll start in the coming weeks here. Try using these guys in a 10-gallon tote or a bin. But they are doing really well in this system. This material is really well worked through. You know, I can definitely find some shells in here, the pits, but nothing really else on this side, which is great. Now let's go to the side that we fed last time. So let's move those mango seeds out of the way. Got another mango seed right there, another one. Okay, now here's our first thing that is left over. This is some corn on the cob. They haven't really worked at that this much. It's not real easily breakable, but those do take a while. Oh, actually right here, look at this little baby worm in there. Let's see if we can zoom in there. Right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, there's a little baby worm in there, which just shows that they are multiplying. And I've heard that corn on cob, or these corn cobs, are really, really good. And you can see there's a lot of worms that I'm kind of scooping out of the way here. Let's dig down here a little bit more. Tons and tons of worms in this area. Look at this. This was a healthy feeding last time. It looks like some of it is still here. Looks like these are coffee grounds. Or, yeah, these are the definitely coffee grounds right there. Yep, that's definitely coffee grounds because there's the paper. Maybe some banana left over as well, it's hard to tell. But there's food left over this time, so we actually caught them early enough. Another corn on the cob here. We did throw quite a few of these in. But you can see here, they're working on it. I do see some springtails on there as well. Not sure if you can see them or not. But they're working on these. Again, still not to the point where I can break it in half like with just like a twitch of my finger. Let's just dig down a little bit further over here. And you can see we've still got some more food left over here. And lots of worms. They're going to town on this stuff, but we can just see there's tons of worms in the system. Oh, another little baby worm right there. Another little baby. So they're doing a really good job. They look really healthy. I'm really impressed with these worms. They're coming back very strong after having a system that was way too dry for them, really, for the longest time. You can just see, I mean, even right here, it's just tons of worms are digging in. Shake this apart a little bit. Paper's a little bit matted that I added, but that happens. But they're working through that, and they're moving through that as well. So overall, this is doing really well. They look phenomenal. Really happy with the system and the way it's working right now. I finally got it really up and going. And it's time to bury this stuff back down. Get some of these worms off of me. And I'm not seeing any fruit flies or anything in here. I mean, I have to say this system, for some reason, this was not, well, I shouldn't say for some reason. It's because of the lid on it. It's not getting reinfected with any of the fruit flies that I've had. Although they're only really now in my vermi bag. But we are still going to do our large feeding that we've been doing. I mean, I just can't stay away from doing these large feedings. I just feel that you just need to keep going with these worms. Because if you stop feeding them too much, they start to slow down. They can still increase in population, even with how much is there. So you can see right here, here's an avocado shell pit. Look at it, it breaks right apart. Nice and soft. You can see all the worms wiggling around here to get out of the sunlight, the light that I have. All right, now our next thing is we're going to add just a little bit of paper. I'm trying to add paper every time because we're starting to get a lot of castings in here. And these are not, this system is not meant to be like emptied out from the top or fully empty. It's supposed to be just sort of continuous. So I'm going to add some more paper in here. Just like that. And then we're going to add our food on top. So again, nice massive feeding going in here. So full, hold on a second here. Full container of food. You can see that I've already got some of the peels falling off and a banana. Got some carrot grounds, more banana, some more avocado shells. We have, these are artichoke stems that I cut off before I cooked some artichokes. Coffee grounds, some apple cores. So it's standard feeding. We go through a lot of coffee, if you can't tell, a lot of banana peels. It looks like we've got a tomato right here. I don't throw tomatoes in too often, but because they do the seeds tend to make it through the system. But there's a couple of them in here, that's all right. So, of course, banana peels, apple cores. I'm just trying to break this apart a little bit. And that way we can also just get an idea of what's in here, if I can. There we go. So another tomato right there. Carrots. It looks like that's kind of it. But this is a good little breakdown of food. And we'll have to wait a little bit longer than we did last time. I mean, it's only been, what, 20 some days. We'll probably have to wait the full month for them to go through all of this food, because this will be quite a bit for this system. But they should multiply in here, and they should get better and better at going through more and more food the more we feed to this. Now, you have to do this slowly, and we've been adding food like this for, every 30 days, but now I'm starting to shrink it down. So this is about, let's say, 23 to 24 days. And the population here should be able to grow and pick up to be able to handle all this food. But you have to give it time. You can't just, if I were to throw this in and then a week later throw another one like this in, they're not going to have time to move through all this. Now, if I ground this up also, I just want to say, if I went in and, all this food is ground up into little tiny pieces, this would go even faster. And I have done that in the past. I've used my my shredder that I had. I had a 3D printed shredder that I would grind food up with. I just haven't been doing that lately, primarily because of the fruit flies. I don't want those can easily get into the grounds when you do that. So for right now, there we go. We're going to add a little bit of our crushed crab and eggshell on here as well. And I had somebody ask, where you get this. I make this. I link videos up top that show you how you can make it. We eat a lot of crabs here, but I did some, cleaned them off and then grilled them. So I'll link the videos up top on how to do crab shells and eggshells as far as when you have them yourself. As far as getting the shells, though, for me, I have a family of 4, so it's no problem. On other people, you might have to find a store or something that's willing to give you. Like a bakery typically will have extra eggshells. So, all right, now I'm going to layer on a little bit of paper on top here. And the reason why I do this is just because of everything being cold. I don't want that to be a massive shock if one of the worms were to hit it. And then we're going to bury this back in. And just like that, it's buried underneath. And that way, hopefully, it'll keep out some of the bugs. And we're just bury some of these seeds down. I'm afraid that they're not going to go anywhere if they're on top here. But so far, this system is looking really, really good. This material is looking really good. It's probably ready for a harvest on the bottom, along with some more food on top, and maybe some more cardboard too. Because every time you feed, one thing I've noticed is that these don't really fill up. It doesn't matter how much you add to them, they just keep compressing down and compressing down. So I mean, there's a good 8 inches from this to the top of this. And if I were to leave it, this will fall down, eventually it'll be 10, and then 12 inches. This will just compact down into the bottom. So that's why I kind of fluff it up every time. And that's where we're gonna have to harvest and then try to, continue to add paper and everything. So that's my update. Oh, hold on, before I forget, let's put this guy back in there. This is our little fruit fly trap. This is just in case. I'm not seeing any fruit flies in here, which is great, but just in case one of them gets in here, hopefully they'll go to that trap and they'll disappear in there. So with that, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. And if you have any suggestions or anything else you'd like to see from this system, let me know and we'll see what we can do. So thank you for watching.